Howdy and welcome. I'm Mike, your board gaming every dude, and today we are looking at On Mars Alien Invasion space game. There it goes, right down, dust the glasses. Got a little too excited there. Gravy Davis. Let's reset. All right, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to look at exactly what the solo expansion of this game is, and then I'm going to show you how it plays, and then we are going to do a quick review, all as fast as possible. So really quick up front, On Mars Alien Invasion is an expansion for the game by Vital Lacerda, artwork by Ian O'Toole, published by Eagle Griffin Games. The game is called On Mars, which comes with its own solo mode. This is a very heavy game, among the heaviest of the heavies, so you gotta like a heavy game, and you gotta like the theme, because the theme is really rich in On Mars. That comes with its own solo mode. This one actually comes with a new solo mode. So what it is there are 4 missions that make one campaign for this expansion, and they introduce aliens, which are not in the first game. The first 3 missions are multiplayer. The 4th and final mission of the campaign is solo. However, you can play them in any order, or you can only play one and none of the others. The story does follow a progression, so if you want a perfect experience, you would play them in order, but you can always just read the intros for each, and you can also just start with mission 4, the solo, and it will still make sense. So you don't really have to worry too much about that, but do know that if you buy this only for solo mode, you would only be playing one of the missions. We'll talk a little more about that after. All right, but first of all, let's do a quick primer of On Mars and then the Alien Invasion expansion. Here we go. Congratulations, you get the shaky, poor man's version of the primer. Okay, so what we have here is the game board of On Mars. How On Mars plays is you as a player have a player board, and you get to take one action per turn. You also get to take an extra optional action. In Lacerda games, that's called an executive action, and you have to pay resources to take that second action, but you always get one action for free. So let's take a look at the board. It's divided into the planet side over here, where you take actions on the surface of Mars right here. The other side of the board is if you decide to go into orbit and do research and things like that on the space station. In between is the shuttle, which has its own phase, and then of course down here we will have our AI opponent for the On Mars Alien Invasion expansion. We'll go into that last. So if you decide to start the game on the surface, there are actions you can take. What you can do is take one of your workers. You pay for an action by placing a worker. You can then, if you want to take the same action again, pay with more workers. You can also enhance some actions like this one by paying certain resources in order to gain more from that action. So very briefly, what are some of those actions? We don't need those there. You can take an action here, which lets you build a building. This is an oxygen building, so it would let you build a new building. Fantastic. You can take an action here, which lets you upgrade a building by placing a building from a blueprint onto one of those. Fantastic. We just upgraded. You can also hire a scientist or get a contract. I love the shaky camera. A little hard for me to see my hand underneath it. So if I want to hire a scientist, these should have cards under them. I just forgot to pull them out. I could hire the hydrologist. Fantastic. Now he's mine. That's going to give me special abilities. Or I can hire a contract, which gets laid out here throughout the game. You can pick the contract that you want, and you take it, and then you try to fulfill it to gain points. You lose points at the end of the game if you don't fulfill it. Other actions you can take, you can move your little bot down here to different places. That lets you build buildings in spaces around it. Or you can use your rover right here to explore and pick up items like this that give you special abilities. Super useful. Don't underestimate that rover. You can also choose to get a rocket, which is awesome. That opens up new spaces and new options on your board for you to take, and it also can give you rover movement or new workers. Fantastic stuff. Down here we have the life support system, kind of the heart of the game. This is upgrading the life support of your colony. So each time you build a different building, whether it's power, water, or plants or oxygen, whatever. If each time you build one, you move this up. So if you build 4 of these, then the whole facility gets upgraded. New benefits are available. Each time you upgrade, you're able to take new benefits and gain victory points here. You win the game by having the most victory points. All kinds of good stuff. You also gain benefits based on cubes that you put here each time you build a building. Don't worry too much about it. We're almost done. This is the surface of Mars where you actually are able to build things. This is a little cheat sheet that helps you with everything that I am rambling on about here. We've already seen this. This is where you build buildings and create your colony and do super cool stuff. But we also have mission cards, 3 per game, including in the Alien Invasion Mission 4 solo variant thing. All right, cool. So you've got a mission here. Each time you complete part of that mission, the number goes down 1. By the time this gets to green, you then come over here and move Mr. Big Giant Cube that starts at 3 down 1. So we finished 1 of the missions. Then we look at the other 2 missions. Same thing. Whenever you complete this, you go down 1 each time you complete a task on it until we hit that green check mark. I turned it the wrong way, but that's life. Then you take that down to 1. And same thing over here. Once you get this all the way down, boom, 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 boom. Once that gets down to green, then this goes to the bottom. Now in the normal on Mars, that would trigger the end of the game. That is not the case with Alien Invasion. All this means is you can no longer gain bonuses each time you finish one of your missions. The game in the Alien Invasion expansion for Mission 4 ends when the round tracker goes to 15. So that is one change out there. We finished that. Then we've got the shuttle phase in the middle. In the game on Mars, you've got a little astronaut here. And every so often, depending on... Oops, stuff goes to the floor, stuff goes to the floor. That's life. Every so often, the shuttle switches from the surface of Mars to space or vice versa. So right now, if it was in space and we're on the turn where the shuttle takes its phase and goes down, we can choose to have our astronaut take the shuttle. They take certain actions on their way back, get different bonuses. You pick your different bonus, and now you're on the surface. Wherever your astronaut is, those are the actions you can take. If you're on the surface, you can take surface actions. If you're over here in space, you can take the space actions. You don't get to go back and forth unless the shuttle comes. So if you decide not to take it, you got to wait for the shuttle to come back and then launch again. As the game progresses, the shuttle launches less frequently. Finally, last portion to go over here, we have our space actions. You can use a worker to use this very rare action. We're not even going to go over it. It lets you take a little thing back to the surface if you miss the shuttle. Very rare, but can be useful. You can use this to take a blueprint. Blueprints are over here, and they let you build advanced buildings which let you gain special abilities. Super useful and necessary for a lot of missions. You've also got this here. This is where you can gain technology titles. Let's say I want to research my rover to make it more powerful. I would take it, place it in my player laboratory down here, and now I have new abilities for my rover. You can also use a worker to pay for this and upgrade technology. That means I can move my rover, if I want to upgrade that, up a space. I have to pay some resources to do that, but I now have new abilities. I can move any technology up as long as I pay for it. Pretty cool. And then down here, you don't have to pay anything. You can just take a resource from the, whatever we call that, stock room, and you can pay extra workers in order to take more than one resource. Each time the LSS upgrades, this gets refilled. And that takes us just to our player board, where you have your workers that are available to be used here. Once they're spent, they get returned here, depending on, there are a few conditions in the game that return them here or don't let them get returned. And then we have possible life support homes, I forget what they're really called, but basically they're living quarters that you want to upgrade and get these on the board. Each time you place one, you have additional workers that can be placed and be ready for use. Down here is where you store the resources that you collect. You have a limited amount depending on how many of these are out there. Basically, if you only have one life center out there, then you can collect 2 resources. If you have 2, like right now, you can collect 3 resources, and so on. You get to collect diamonds and gems and things like that, and rockets. And I think that gives you an overview, so let's now go look at the Alien Invasion Mission 4 expansion. Okay, Mission 4. Mission 4 introduces a much simpler solo mode. Honestly, I probably would only play this when replaying On Mars solo. So you just have to set up your alien. So what you have is your alien time tracker that starts at round 1. These are rounds. And the way this works is each time you as a player take your turn, right after taking your turn, the alien gets a turn, and then you move to the shuttle phase. And then you go back to your turn, and your executive action, alien takes a turn. Each time the alien takes a turn, you move this up 1 space. In order to set up the alien, all you need are the 5 mission decks, and they are all labeled with the number 1. You can see, with the number 4 for Mission 4. So you know that those are the cards you need. And what you do is, to start out, you randomly pick any 2 that you're randomly going to place the mission card down. Alright, so I picked 2 and 5 randomly. Then you can search through the remaining missions and pick the ones that you want, that you think go best with those 2 that got randomly picked. Once that's done, you actually don't need these anymore. I just had them out for you to see, but you can place them to the side. In order to win the game, you win by completing any 4 of these 5 missions. If the time tracker goes from 14 to 15 and you have not completed your 4th mission, then you lose. The good thing is, though, you can still collect points even if you lose to see how you did, and the instruction booklet lets you know how well you placed even if you lost. So all is not lost. You will also need the progress cubes of another player's color. There will be 5 of them. I have 1 just for the purpose of this. And your tracker. Then you have your alien sabotage deck, which also has the number 4 on it, so you know. Alright, so as a demo, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my turn. There's my recorder. Isn't that awesome? I told you this is a special how to play. Alright, so I'm going to take my worker. I'm going to take an action. For simplicity's sake, I am going to hire a scientist. That's my action. So I'm going to go grab Mr. Green here. And I've got the green scientist. Awesome. And I would have their card as well, which I forgot to get, but that's fine. Their card and their ability. I would like to take an executive action, but oh my goodness, I don't have enough crystals to do it. So my turn is over. Now it is the alien's turn. I'm just going to have a seat here for this one. For the alien's turn, what do we do? Well, let's say we're on round 0. So first turn, this moves up. That's the first thing we do. Next, you're going to flip over one of these cards, okay? But when you start the game, you flip over 1, 2, 3. That's how we start. So we'd have 1, 2, 3. And here's the thing with these. Each one of these have negative events that are going to happen as interruptions. Well, when you first lay them out, you look, do any of these letters match? Yes, I've got 2 A's. So take one of your progress cubes and put it on the leftmost of that letter. So I've got 2 A's, so I'm going to place a progress cube here. And then a B, just 1 B, so I don't worry about that. And I've got my time tracker right there. There we go, on the 1. Now, since it's the alien's turn, we moved up 1, we're going to flip over a new one. And we're just going to pretend we have all the space in the world. There we go. And that's a B. There's another B, so I'm going to take one of my progress cubes. We're going to pretend I have another, and we're going to put it right there. So what does that do? Well, we'll see. For right now, that ends the alien turn. See, it's super simple. But notice on the tracker there are these alien heads. So what happens is whenever you move up around and you go to an alien head, you look at your cards, and any card that has 2 cubes on it the negative effect gets applied. So we're going to pretend that this one and this one have the 2 cubes. We would take the 2 cubes off, put them in a supply, read and immediately apply the negative event, then take it out of the game. Same thing with the B. We would read, apply, take it out of the game, then slide your cards over, right? And flip over a card. So that's what you do on an alien turn. All you do, slide. If it's an alien head, apply the effect. If it's not an alien head, don't apply any effect. Flip a card. If the letter matches any other letter, place a cube on the leftmost, matching that letter, and that's it. That's the end of their turn. That take us through the how to play. Well done. Alright, welcome back. Wait a minute, where am I without my glasses? Can't let people see my real eyes. Okay, there we go. Alright, so on Mars Alien Invasion, let's take a look at what else is in the box, because as you can see, for the solo mode of Mission 4, it's just a deck of cards and a time tracker, and a token or two, which is fantastic. It's super simple, but this costs $65, so you probably like, what on earth? So again, that's why I say if you're buying it only for solo, that's a lot of money. But if you're buying it for the multiplayer and the solo, pretty cool. So we got the box, and there's a lot of stuff in here between the 4 different missions. You stay there. We've got our instruction booklet, and it's got instructions for each of the 4 missions. Has this cool thing that actually tells you how to place everything back into the box, which I love because it's got a nice box. I can't show you. But anyway, it's actually categorized nicely. Before I did that and shook it all up, welcome to life. There you go. There you go. It is categorized based on mission. So each of the tokens has a number to let you know whether it's mission 1, 2, 3, 4, or a combination of those. For mission 1, you just take up a teeny tiny portion right there. That's it. And the rest of these here, most of these are for mission 2, where you're dealing with a contamination. Mission 2 is cooperative. You can play it solo, but you would be controlling 2 hands. And in a game this heavy, I thought I was going to try it out for you, and I just decided no. That's not fun for me. It might be fun for some. I don't recommend it. It's made for cooperative 2 to 4 players, all right? I believe it's 4. Yeah, 2 to 4. And then you have, of course, Mission 1, which is the big one, and it looks like a lot of fun. Mission 1 is semi-cooperative. One person plays as the alien, and the other player or other 2 or 3 players are working a sort of, kind of against. So it's not semi, it's a somewhat cooperative mission. But I definitely wouldn't recommend that solo, because you would have to control the alien, or I think it's 3 to 5 players. Mission 1 is 3 to 5 players. And you would have to have one person control the alien and at least 2 people to play cooperatively. To do that solo, I think is madness. As I've been told, it's your brain on the line. You do what you like, but you've got a lot of other cool little tokens for Mission 1. And then Mission 3 is, and Mission 1 is just like straight up invasion. Mission 3 is called Blackout, and that is cooperative as well. So everybody's working together. You could play it solo if you wanted, control 2 hands, but I'd recommend missions 1 through 3, play multiplayer, play Mission 4 solo. You can play Mission 4 solo over and over and over and over and over again. So if you want to get your money's worth, here's my review, my final thoughts. The original On Mars solo mode is a bit too difficult to manage, in my opinion. It feels unfinished. It is playable, and it is still my favorite heavy Euro out there to play solo, but it still feels incomplete. This expansion fixes the solo mode, because it is so easy to manage. You are only focusing on your play, and that's it. You are not thinking for the AI, but it still presents a challenge. The AI opponent is not scoring points. They are just getting in your way. That's all. So it fixes it. If you love it, then it's worth it. But remember, On Mars base game is over $100. The expansion is 60 some dollars. So you have to really, really, really love it to go in for that. But if you can play multiplayer, what fun. You've got a full campaign of 4 missions, all of them replayable, and you do not have to teach people the base game before playing the expansion. It's made so you can pick up any mission and play only that, right? The only thing is whoever's teaching it does need to know the base game. But the new players, they don't need to because you play by different rules, different parts. It's a totally different game. So, fantastic expansion. It's worth it for me, but again, money's a thing. Think about it. Let me know, what do you think? And please give me a like if this was helpful for you so more people can find this. I love you all. I'm going to put a video up here about expansions. Do we need them or don't we? I'll see y'all next time.